this is Sean Payton, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. What's with this Saints Happy Cast? This has to be the worst Saints podcast in the world. Ralph can't say anyone's name right. Andrew doesn't know football. Everyone has a hard time listening to Dave. And is Kevin even there tonight? The audio with this podcast, my God, the audio, it's painful.
All right, everybody, welcome to Saints Happy Hour Playoff Edition. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Andrew, go ahead and gloat. You predicted the Saints 12-4. You've been running your mouth all day in the chats, in the conversation, the text. Go ahead, take your fucking victory lap. Do it.
Well, I'm just pumped I don't have to drink any IPAs. That's the real win here. Why do you think I'm so happy? I don't have to drink that sap beer.
Yeah, and by the way, I didn't appreciate any of the people were just destroying me on the Twitters today about my yellow shirt that I wore for Channel 4. Somebody said I look like a crippled banana salesman. I blocked that dude. That was over the line.
What? You did not block him.
I know. I didn't block Kevin.
Wait a minute.
There's always money in the banana stand, Ralph. There's always money in the banana stand.
Yeah, was it with Paulson or was it with Leslie?
It was with Leslie because I did it at 5:45. But I want to say this. To be fair, my wife didn't dress me today. She fell asleep. She fell asleep early, and I had to dress myself. She didn't set it out for me last night. She fell asleep early, so I had it this morning. And I'm colorblind and make really bad wardrobe decisions. I haven't dressed myself since 2007. When I do, it goes very, very badly.
You mean the panties your mother laid out for you?
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
Your wife falling asleep and failing to dress you is a very Ralphie move.
It is. It's like I'm a toddler.
Wait a minute. Are you being serious? Does your wife really lay out your clothes for you every night the night before?
Yes. Yes. Like what? Like.
Wait, Dave, yours doesn't?
Like.
Wait, Dave, do you mean to tell me that this doesn't happen to you?
What, is that weird?
Kevin, what do you do? How do you get dressed? You have a wife.
The dog lays out my clothes.
I can't believe that.
Let me tell you something.
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this. We're going to want this cut for posterity.
My wife started buying me clothes on like our fourth date. She was like, "You are terribly fucking dressed. How do you even function?" Like, that's how bad a dresser I am. I'm colorblind. I'm crippled. I don't understand sizes. It's just it's a bigger disaster than Stanley Jean-Baptiste is what it is my dressing.
Oh my God! When she met you, she was like, "Oh, this is she felt like she met her match. This is something, she would never be complete with you. There was always going to be something else to be working on with you."
That's right.
No, buying your clothes, that's fine. Having your wife buy your clothes, that's I think that's normal. That's acceptable. But laying them out every night before,
it's great. I love it. That's great.
So
my 7-year-old daughter lays out her own clothes.
Yeah, good for her.
For the next day, but she dresses herself. She picks them out, dresses herself.
Do you think Sean Payton picks out what he's gonna wear during game day, or does like the trainer lay it out for him? I can't be alone in this.
You know what? That is a good point. From my knowledge of like college football in Tulane, I work closely with the Tulane's athletic department, and and their equipment manager. I think the way it works is usually they leave a few options for him in his locker. He'll get like 2 or 3 options, and he can pick from those.
Dave.
Yeah.
You don't want to give Ralph a choice.
My wife.
Dave.
What?
Yeah. Are you gonna pick that up?
Here's what my wife
the name that I dropped.
Here's what
Yeah.
when I said to my wife, maybe you could lay out a couple options. Here's what she said to me, like a year, like right after she started doing this for me. She said, "You don't deserve options." Like I was like Rob
That
Ryan.
should be the new tagline of the podcast. You don't deserve options.
What is she? Does she lay out like underwear too? Like
No,
down to
not
the
underwear, but like the clothes, like everything, like jeans, the shirt, slacks, all of it. This I'm excited because this is
She
probably like
needs to start picking your underwear.
this.
If we're being honest.
This is exciting because this podcast this week, playoff week, the start of free agency, draft week. That's when we get our biggest numbers and we get new listeners testing us out. And they're listening to this podcast, and we did 5 minutes on how Ralph doesn't dress himself. So we're gonna just draw them in with hardcore football talk with this podcast.
Yeah, we've really won some new listeners over today.
We did.
Tell you what.
Speaking,
So the yellow polo was you picked that out. What were you wearing on the bottom? Pants, shorts, what?
pajama pants. Pajama
Shorts?
pants.
Definitely jorts.
So
Jogger pants? Did you go to work like that?
no, I just slip on some jeans and go to work.
Okay.
I go in the office. I got to go in 3 times a day, and 3 times a week. Be in the office, do real work, pretend to do work when I'm not watching the Saints and Bears. Who, oh, by the way, right after we get off the air, before we get to the Carolina game from yesterday, the Saints actually caught a goddamn break from the NFL, Andrew. Sunday, 3:40, Alvin Kamara has a chance to play. Should we talk about?
I cannot believe the kickoff wasn't noon on Friday. I can't believe they didn't change the schedule and move it up a day to make sure Alvin Kamara didn't play. I can't believe it.
Dave, should we talk about the game against Carolina, or should we talk about Alvin Kamara? Should we talk about Alvin going to the club? What's more important?
Thanks for cutting that short, because I know that goes on for another 20 minutes.
It does.
Let's talk about AK. AK is probably one of the few people on this team who gets to do this and put the Saints in position where they have to quarantine their entire running back room. And we won't hate him. We'll still accept him back with
Alvin hijinks.
Are you gonna lay it all out on the table and tap?
I mean, I hope it was worth it. I hope whatever girl or woman and women that he took home that evening, I hope it was some of the best he's ever had. And it was worth putting us in this position.
Well, it was Metairie girls, right? So
a little bit easier, probably. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe could have been some Kenna ladies.
I've never even
Kenna, brah.
I don't think Kenner people go hang out on vets, man.
Well, first of all, I don't think that's officially Kenner. It wasn't. It was on this side of.
It was Metairie.
Yeah.
No, I'm not disputing where. I'm saying there could have been some ladies from Kenna that made the drive along.
They don't venture to vets, man.
Yes, they do. But I've never even heard of table and tap until this. I'm a swamp room guy. I've never heard of table and tap.
What
I don't understand. I'm sorry, wait. But I don't understand why. Why is Alvin Kamara going to table and tap? You are fucking Alvin Kamara. Why are you not going? You're in New Orleans. You could go anywhere you want, get any table you want, any lady within reason that you want. You could be going to some of the finest.
You just got $74 million in the offseason.
You just scored 6 touchdowns in an NFL game.
It's the day after Christmas.
like you could, I would be at Bywater American Bistro. I wouldn't be at Table and Tap.
People want what they want, though, Dave.
I'm most disappointed about.
Do you think he had dinner? Do you think he had dinner at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood before going to Table and Tap?
No, I think he probably went to like Jaeger's or something.
I mean, I don't think y'all are being too hard now. But I go into New Orleans, the first thing I want is Bud's Broiler. People want what they want. They like what they like. The man, he likes to get his moves on at Table and Tap. Like, don't judge him.
Bud's
wait, hang on a second.
Broiler is totally defensible. But
yeah. Like I was expecting some god awful thing coming out of you, Ralph. No, Bud's Broiler.
That's not apples to apples. Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. Dave wants to kill him on where he dined, food wise. Why even go out if if you're trolling? I mean, look, I'm going to be crass. If you're going out trolling for pussy, you are a professional athlete. Look, I'm sure Juge has sauces that would confirm this.
We do.
But professional athletes probably have access or the ability to get a hold of women and work some sort of arrangement out wherein they can meet in private and hang out for a few hours.
Lady of the night? That's illegal, Kevin. That's illegal.
I think
this is a judgment-free zone here, Ralph. This is a judgment-free zone. The wife is trusting you. This is a judgment-free zone.
It is.
That's right.
Don't you think Gail Benson would foot the bill too on the rapid test for whatever lady he wants to hang out with?
Yeah. I mean, she's given the rapid test to like 8-10 media people a day during training camp. I mean, what's one more, right?
Yeah.
Right. Just say she's credentialed from something and give her a test.
Is Alvin Kamara going out? Kevin and Andrew, you know the great Saints history from the Ditka era where it got wild. Is Alvin Kamara going out clubbing, looking for poontang right before the playoffs and possibly getting the Rona and ruining the entire season, getting the whole running back room the Rona? Is that more irresponsible than Andre Royal getting drunk at the club and getting thrown out? Is it more irresponsible than him taking a sack of quarters and beating up rookies? Is it more irresponsible than Keith Poole running away from the police in La Crosse, Wisconsin? Like, where does this rank on the all-time irresponsible Saints player activities?
I mean, it wasn't a crime. It wasn't a crime. It was idiocy. It was genuine.
I mean, there's a world in which Alvin Kamara goes to Table and Tap, and we're hopefully still killing him. But there's a world in which he goes to that place to drink, and no one cares, right? So it's really just related to COVID and the realities of the world currently.
Well, there's a world where Jeff Danish doesn't fall through a plate glass window at Saints training camp in La Crosse, too. I mean,
I don't even know what the fuck you guys are talking about. But it sounds like Saints training camp in La Crosse, Wisconsin, in the '90s was like fucking Animal House.
I was gonna say there's a world in which
that's exactly what it was.
Cam Cleland's retina remains attached, but look, it's so irresponsible when you consider the stakes, man. Look, I'm just, if the Saints lose to the Bears because Alvin Kamara can't play, and he cost Drew a chance at a two-dat because he had to go hang out at Table and Tap on vets, I'm not going to be happy. I don't think any Saints fan is going to be happy.
Well, here's the thing that's difficult with it is he was a huge part of that first Bears game. He had a bunch of big plays. He had a huge season. If the Saints lose, Dave, is this going to follow Kamara around forever? Are we never going to forgive him for this? If they I know it's not fair. You don't know how the game will go, but I feel like if the Saints lose, Kamara will be blamed if he does not play. Will this follow him around? Will we be able to forgive him if the Saints lose to fucking Mitchell Trubisky and he doesn't play?
Yeah, I mean, it does. I'm glad you qualified it because, I mean, it does matter how the game goes. If the game ends on some crazy bullshit no call pass interference penalty, I know that's hard to believe, but if something crazy like that were to happen, then everybody's going to forget Kamara and obviously just blame that. But, all things being considered, a normal game, I don't know. I don't think I don't think it would be so bad. I think people like you and Andrew, and with your steel trap Saints memories, you'll never forget it. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I would say your average Saints fan, might hold on to it for a year or so, but I don't think it'll live on in infamy for all of Saints history.
People. Mentally sick people, sick in the head.
Kevin, the Saints are 12-4, and they are playing Chicago. And before we get to the Bears, should Marcus Davenport, being that he only had a sack and a half, should he thank Trey Hendrickson every day for having such an amazing season and taking our attention away from him being a potential bust for the Saints that they traded up for?
Kevin looks frozen.
I think Kevin's frozen.
I think Kevin went caveman lawyer.
Yep. There we go. He's gone.
Frozen. So that's a good question for you, Dave. Should Marcus too first? Should he thank God every day that Trey Hendrickson was amazing and it took our eyes away from his mediocrity?
I mean, I guess if you add them up together, they had like 14 and a half, 15 sacks total. So divide that
15 sacks total. Marcus Davenport had a sack and a half.
Right. Yeah. So divide that by the two of them, and that's 7.5 sacks each. So, I mean, it works out. I think at the beginning of the season, if you said Trey Hendrickson and Marcus Davenport are both going to have 7.5 sacks this season, you would have said, sign me up. Yeah, I'll take that. No, I'm just kidding. Look, Marcus Davenport has been disappointing. He when he came back from his injury, he was showing flashes, looked like he was trending in the right direction, and then it's kind of disappeared again. And we gave up 2 first-round picks for this guy, and
Is that why they call him Marcus 2 firsts?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Andrew.
it's not his fault that the Saints did that. Just like it's not Reggie Bush's fault that that he was drafted second overall and the expectations were so high. But I mean, still, you've got to produce, and we expect we've drafted better players in later rounds, so it's disappointing. Absolutely, it's disappointing.
Andrew, what's more shocking, the fact that Trey Hendrickson had 13.5 sacks, or your 2019 UDFA adopted son had 3.5 more sacks than Davenport in 2020?
They're both shocking. I guess Granderson outperforming Davenport is not that shocking, in the sense that if you had told me at any point that Davenport would be hurt and miss a lot of time, I'd be like, yeah, it's totally believable. So I'll go with Hendrickson, because Davenport missing time, being injured, that's almost a given. Hendrickson, 13.5 sacks. Who saw that coming? Right?
No one.
Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
There's no way. Hendrickson has gone from a nice little player to Saints Twitter is like, the Saints have to find a way to keep him and pay him no matter what the cost is. As far as the game,
I mean, people are talking about picking. He's due for his 5th-year option as a first-round draft pick, and people are wondering, should they pick up the option on him or not? I mean, use that money on Trey Hendrickson. I mean, Yeah, I mean, it's probably a good deal just to sign him to the 5th-year option and just to keep him around one more year. But I mean, that's it. Unless Davenport has some epic turnaround, he's not coming back after next year.
Andrew Davenport.
Is there any chance that the new hairdo, the bleaching, do we feel like that's maybe been his kryptonite?
No, because didn't Hendrickson dye his hair?
Yeah, but he only did like the bottom.
Oh.
I don't know if you know. You can only see it out the helmet. The rest of his hair is still brown.
Did he bleach it while he was wearing the helmet?
Maybe.
I feel like.
But Davenport went all in. You know, he did the whole
I think
shebang.
Are you saying? Are you worried because the bleach went to his head and he's an idiot now?
I'm worried he may have drank. I'm worried he may have accidentally consumed some of this.
He's definitely got a Wesley Snipes Demolition Man vibe going on, which is not a good look. I'm just gonna say. As far as the game,
and he used the 2 seashells.
Davenport's having 15 sacks next year, and then we'll have the whole discussion of should the Saints pay him. We'll be afraid the Saints will pay him, and we'll be afraid he'll leave. So that'll be a fun discussion next year. And then the Saints will pay him, and he'll go back to being injured. But the game yesterday, Andrew, there's not much to take away from because Carolina was kind of dog shit, and they kind of gave up after the second Teddy Bridgewater interception. But the Saints sort of survived. They only had a couple injury scares. Taysom might have got a little concussed. Armstead had a little tweak. Besides that, everything was fine. You're a film watcher. You eat the tape. What did you see that's one thing that you stuck out that you're like, that is really good, that gets me excited for the playoffs, even though Carolina's terrible, that the fact that the Saints did this, that makes me excited for the playoffs against Chicago?
Brees is pushing the ball down the field. He's looking good. I feel like he's playing at a high level. You guys like the way he played in that game?
I was fine with it, and I saw that he's put up at least 26 points in the last 10 games.
Yeah.
So that's optimistic to me because I'm very confident in our defense, and so if we can score 26 points in every game in the playoffs, I feel like that's going to be a recipe for success for sure.
I feel like Brees was throwing the ball really well and had some real great ball placements. And I just look at this offensive line, Andrew, and they seem in a really great place. And oh, by the way, behind the scenes, if you should become a patron because you get in the Discord channel and you get Andrew's grades. But Andrew, as he's doing the grades on Sunday night, he'll text me. Andrew texted me, I don't know what the fucking deal is with Peat. What did you call him? He's the craziest player I've ever graded. You gave him your highest grade, Andrew. Andrew's Peat, the scourge of Saints Twitter, who just 2 weeks ago, Sean Payton unprompted was like, Andrew's Peat, he's got to play better. And now he's your highest grade player. What the hell is going on?
That guy.
Took those words to heart.
Well, so the thing is, we're always like, how does he make a Pro Bowl? It's impossible. He's not getting it off fan voting, right? I can promise you that. So the other votes come from coaches and they come from players. And clearly Peat makes the Pro Bowl every year because he's widely respected by opponents and he's widely respected by opposing coaching staffs. And you ask yourself, why is that? How could that be? Because we see these things on tape where you're like, this guy sucks. He's making these terrible plays. But I think what we don't notice, first of all,
he gives good handies.
He does.
It's got to be.
He does. I mean, the thing is, when he gets his hands on you, it's over. Seriously. It's funny that you said handy because there's actually a little bit of truth to your immature joke.
He's very handy. It's like being bendy.
It is, yeah. It's a form of bendy for offensive linemen.
Just depends on where he's putting his hands.
Right. But he has these moments where you watch tape where he just completely swallows a defender and just you don't see other guards doing this, just mauling people on the interior. And he's just got so much power. And then there's days where he's so slow off the snap, it's like he can't block anybody. So he is the most confusing, weird, and puzzling player I've ever graded in my life, because the swings that you get from week to week with him range from absolutely deserving Pro Bowler. Like you put on the tape of that game, you watch Andres Peat, you're like, yep, that guy's a Pro Bowler. Totally see it. You watch tape from 2 weeks ago, you're like, how is this guy a starter in the league? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Can either of you ever remember a time where Peyton called out a player like this?
Sean, on the offensive line, is there anything that you guys could have done different, or is that just the type of game where you kind of got to win your one-on-one stuff there to send them forward? Listen, Pete's got to play better.
So, but seriously, can you ever remember, Andrew, a player going from that, where Sean Payton is calling him out unprompted, to 2 weeks later, A+?
No. That's usually like a telltale sign that they're about to get benched. You know, that they're on their last.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's but clearly it resonated because it was a motivational tactic and it worked. Peat played very well. You know, like, we're spending too much time on Peat, though. I gotta say, like, I gave Armstead an A, and he got an A+ last week. Armstead, my God, man.
Nick Underhill said he's the best player in the NFL right now. Like,
over the last 2 weeks.
For the last 2 weeks, yeah.
How could you argue that? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's some receiver I'm not thinking of that's had like 350 yards receiving the last 2 weeks, but you look at his tape, Armstead he's playing the best I've ever seen him play.
You want to talk about being optimistic going into the playoffs, or how we're feeling about going into the playoffs. What I'm hearing right now from the two of you so far is in stark contrast to what we've had to deal with the Saints the last 2 years. I mean, you guys are glowing and gushing about the Saints offensive line, and we're about to head into the playoffs. I mean, like,
yes, Dave, I'll say yes, with the exception of, I'm not sure I saw so clearly that Larry Warford was a problem last year. I'm not so sure that 2 years ago I knew that Andres Peat was going to be such a problem in the playoffs. I go into these playoffs knowing that right guard is a concern. Like, whether it's Nick Easton or Ruiz, I just that specific spot makes me nervous.
Well, didn't we know that, like, the Saints, like, they admitted that Andres Peat, like, when they played the Eagles, and we were like, they were like, yeah, he played with a broken hand. Then we knew against the Rams, we were like, oh shit, and we knew that Max Unger was sort of, we weren't sure if he was cooked, but we feared it. This year at right guard, like, you can get a C+, B- game out of Easton. We've seen it, and the thing is, Andrew, they thought they were upgrading with Ruiz at right guard. It just hasn't worked out that way, right? I mean, they didn't move on from Warford thinking they were downgrading. I mean, Ruiz just hasn't panned out like they wanted.
I think they know they need to get Ruiz at center and McCoy to right guard, and it's just going to have to happen next year.
Yeah.
But I mean, but from 2017 to now, you know, week 17 going into the playoffs, I think the answer would be yes. Is this the most confident and the best you've felt about the offensive line going into the playoffs?
I felt really confident going into 2018 because I had talked myself into the fact that, yes, they were beat up. Yes, they had issues, but it was going to be like 2009 where they were kind of coasting in on fumes, but they got a bye, and the bye was going to give them a 1 week elixir magic potion. So I feel kind of like I did going into the 2018 playoffs. That proved not to be true, but that's kind of where I am. I was really confident going into 2018.
My answer to your question is, have you been watching the last 3 years? How the hell could I possibly be confident playing the Jets once it's the playoffs?
Well,
how can I be? The Saints, to steal Ralph's joke, the Saints could be playing McDonough 35 this weekend, and I'd be nervous because of how the playoffs have played out the last 3 years.
Well, but let's talk about let's unpack our playoff fear a little bit, because here's the thing that you are
normally I can't wait for Sunday. Like, I want Sunday to take as long as possible to come up.
Well,
that's how nervous I am. I don't even want to think about this possibly being Drew's last game.
You're nervous, but a lot of people are nervous in a weird way, and they're just saying it's Minnesota all over again. And I know we have playoff baggage. Look, Minnesota twice, the Rams, the no call, all of it. I get we have baggage, but like the Bears game isn't gonna go anything like the Minnesota game. Like, it's not the same personnel. Like, Minnesota, Mike Zimmer coached.
Now you just fucking jinxed it.
Yeah.
No, but Mike Zimmer coached the pants off Peyton. And
stamp this right here.
And listen, the Bears, they don't have the same like, they may beat the Saints a different way, but they're not going to beat the Saints the exact same way Minnesota did. It's not going to be the exact same.
God,
I don't think.
Dave, are you listening to this?
I don't have the same fears. Like I don't fear the Saints interior. I fear the Saints secondary reverting to their flag happy, give up big plays, and the Bears hit like 4 big plays on them and they lose. I don't fear them, McCoy and the interior getting destroyed. It's going to be different, but shouldn't we put the baggage aside though, Dave? Every year's a new year. Every year is new. Like, why do we have to carry this playoff baggage with us into 2021?
Well, I mean, like, how else are we supposed to feel? I mean, like, we lost out on a chance to play in the Super Bowl from something that was beyond the control of anybody in the Saints locker room or on the Saints organization or in the stadium. Yeah. Like that. I will always go back to that because, more than the Stephon Diggs miracle catch, more than just we lost last year. I mean, Minnesota just beat us. Like that's the most egregious, heartbreaking, ridiculous thing that has ever happened to, I think, a football team in the NFL. I mean, I really and truly believe that. Like, I still cannot believe 3 years later that the Saints didn't go to the Super Bowl and the world was robbed of a Drew Brees, Tom Brady Super Bowl, and Drew Brees himself was robbed of another opportunity to get another Super Bowl just because of some idiots who couldn't make the right call, who didn't do their job. But it's just like there's. I think all of us have every right to feel
Speaking of bad officiating, the Lions Vikings game. Did you guys see that a sack is now roughing the passer?
Yeah, on a sack, and it was like 4th down too. Poor Lions.
He just like tackled. He tackled Cousins and flagged
yeah.
I mean, and then the only other reason I would say that I'm in particular nervous about the playoffs this year is I can't shake that Eagles game. And this, I don't know if you want to get into it now or get into it later when we talk about the game, but I mean, like, this playing against the Bears has this same feeling to me, and has, it's just, here's a team that the Saints are clearly better than. They clearly have a better team, clearly have a better roster. They're clearly better coached. I mean, there is not one area that I can think of where the Bears are.
You want me to make it worse?
Okay,
the Saints are the biggest favorite this weekend, 9.5.
No, Tampa's surpassed them. Tampa's 10.5.
Well, that's different because Tampa was at 7, and the Saints were at 9, or 9.5.
People are pounding the Bucs,
which is an incredible. That is an incredible 9 points, an opening line. That's a crazy. I mean, as soon as I saw that, I was like, Juge is betting on the Bears. He's definitely going to be betting on the Bears.
I mean,
nobody could ignore that 9 points.
I said before,
staring at you, just tempting you, begging you to fucking put money on it.
I'm gonna get less confident as the week goes along. I watched that Bears Saints game, the replay of it today, and my confidence is sky high. But the thing is, I am not over 2006. The Bears, Their fan base is disgusting. They're loathsome. I hate them. Their Katrina jokes are lame. Their Katrina posters are lamer. And I want the Saints to I want the Saints to beat the Bears so fucking bad that Pace and Nagy get fired on Monday morning. That like, I hate the Bears. And Juge, maybe it's
I don't
2006.
think you get fired after a playoff loss.
Well, before
It's
the
possible.
no call, the most egregious playoff call in Saints history was Vince Buck wasn't offsides against the Bears in the playoffs in 1990. He blocked the field goal. They called him offsides. He shouldn't have been. The Saints should have won that game. You know? So
Yep.
I have
Who's got baggage?
I got baggage, and I hate the Bears. And listen, if the Saints aren't going to go to the Super Bowl, and you told me that I had one more great Drew Brees performance to watch, I want it this Sunday. I want him to burn Chicago to the ground like it's 1871 and he's Miss O'Leary's cow or whatever the hell. And I want him to take their ashes and salt the earth so they never can grow again. Like, I hate the Bears. I might hate the Bears. They might be my second most hated team behind Atlanta. Like, I hate them. I hate them.
Where is this coming from?
Dude, they're
Ralph's
just
got so much baggage, he needs a porter to meet him at fucking baggage claim.
It's true. It's true. You guys don't feel the way I do. And
Well, I definitely remember the '92 playoff game and then 2006. So we're 0-2 against them in the playoffs, and like you said, in '92, it was weird in that the Saints probably didn't deserve to make the playoffs that year, and yet they made it, and they almost stole a game in Chicago, and that was almost our first ever playoff win. So that was frustrating. 2006, I felt like we were a team of destiny, and Rex Grossman, Mortal Kombat style, he rips our heart out and eats it. And so I want a playoff win over the Bears. If we're talking history, we're talking baggage. Like, I want to beat the Bears.
And the Bears foisted Mike Ditka on us, that fraud, who nearly tried to set the franchise back a decade by trading everything for Ricky Williams. There are so many good reasons to hate the Bears, and I drink them all.
I like the city of Chicago, though.
I do. The city of Chicago is trash and overrated too. It's nothing but giant buildings and overrated pizza.
Well, the pizza sucks.
Yeah, sorry.
Fuck deep dish.
So does their win.
Deep dish pizza is not pizza. It's fucking lasagna, people.
There you go. Fucking Ralph. We're on the same page here with this one.
So, but before we get to what's been, Dave, as we kind of put a bow on 2020, what's been, besides Trey Hendrickson, because he's his own category of just delightful surprise and shock, what's been your second biggest thing that's delighted you the most about the 2020 Saints?
Well, we should just name the award after him. We should give out the Trey Hendrickson Award, but we're going to give it to somebody else because we can't give it to Trey Hendrickson.
No, we can't.
Let's see. So who would I give the Trey Hendrickson Award for biggest overachiever? Ken Crawley for making that interception last week.
You go straight to the line, Ken.
I didn't see Billy Bando squawking on Twitter. As soon as Ken Crawley got that interception, I immediately was like, where's Billy Bando? He's going to be back, but he wasn't around. I was sad.
No. But a serious answer. I don't know. You know what? Like, has Anzalone played that badly? I mean, I feel like he's been okay. I mean, like, we don't expect the world from him, but
I wouldn't call him overachieving.
Well, I guess not. Overachieving. I'm just trying to help out my fellow Italians. I'm sure there's somebody obvious that I'm.
I got one.
That I'm
Who you
missing.
got?
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Patrick freaking Robinson.
Oh yeah,
There
that's
you
a good
go.
one. That's a good one.
He hasn't played a ton, but when he has, he's been pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, that was fun. I have to say.
Oh, you know what I would say? I mean, maybe Malcolm Jenkins.
Was going to be mine.
Yeah, earlier in the season he struggled, but after about the first month, he's turned it on. I mean, he's been great. I mean,
He doesn't,
he really has.
dude.
Been
He's
great.
like an Iron Man. Like he's playing like 99% of the snaps, like some ridiculous amount of years in a row. And the thing is with him, is we all like Malcolm Jenkins. We were like, oh, let's bring him back. But it wasn't like unanimous that like, oh, he's a great signing. Some people were like, maybe they should have kept Von Bell for cheaper. Like it wasn't some lock. And it's been.
Are you kidding me? People are still saying that.
I know. The one that I was the most excited about the whole off was Emmanuel Sanders. He got COVID. He didn't end up kind of doing the impact that we hoped, but I was thanking God they had him, because if you'd have told me the day they signed Emmanuel Sanders that Michael Thomas wasn't going to score a touchdown, Andrew, I'd have been even more excited than I was, and I was bouncing off the fucking walls the night they signed Emmanuel Sanders. And oh, by the way, him celebrating his $500,000 bonus like he just caught the winning touchdown in a Saints playoff game was amazing. That might be my favorite.
That was fun. I just really hope he can actually catch that touchdown in a playoff game. Yeah, remember, this is the reason why they signed these guys, Malcolm Jenkins and Emmanuel Sanders. It's funny we're talking about that because, those guys have won Super Bowls. And part of the reason they brought them here is so the Saints can finish in these playoff games. That's been the biggest struggle the last 3 years is all you need is one more play to win those games. Somebody make one play, and those outcomes are all different. And, those two guys, Emmanuel Sanders, Malcolm Jenkins, they know how to make that one play. So I'm looking for it on Sunday.
Yeah. Before we get to the hotline, I just want to remind people, like, you should sign up for this podcast. It's freaking amazing. You should go to saintshappyhourshop.com, buy Saints merchandise. It's behind Dave. Thanks, Thomas. He built Dave a slide.
Tomas.
An image behind him so he can look professional.
I love that Thomas is now in Alvin Kamara territory where he is called a different name by Ralph every time.
Every week. Yeah. He was trying to explain. He's like, Ralph, the background is still not right. You have to stretch it. Why can't you do it, man? It's easy as piss. But the hotline this week, it's short, but it's got some quality. So remember to dial the hotline after the Saints win or they lose. Use it as therapy. Use it as celebration. Not enough people slandered the Bears. I was really hoping for some good Bears slander. I didn't get any of that. But call the hotline before 1:00 on Monday when I record it, and you can be on the Saints hotline. So without further ado, here's Week 17, the final edition of final regular season edition of the Saints Happy Hour Hotline. It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour Hotline.
I just want to conduct a search party for Sean Payton's balls because his ambush and flea flicker and challenge flag reigning days are over, and he's now the guy who bent over for Goodell and doesn't trust his future Hall of Fame quarterback to get 8 yards with the game on the line.
As we've learned with anything in 2020, it's all just a bunch of horse shit. So fuck it. That's it. That's the voicemail. That's it. Play me on the show. Or don't play me on the show. I don't give a fuck.
Sean Payton was no running back. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Old number 2, old Mr. Winston. He touched the ball 3 times this year. Goes ahead and he gets himself a unsportsmanlike conduct, and he's going to be showboating at the end of it. The backup to the backup quarterback. The dude's got to have a house on the West Bank somewhere. Who dat? Love you guys.
As we break out the brooms to complete the NFC South sweep, all I gotta say this: we're coming to kill you, bitch, kids and titties.
So we came into Week 17 with a decimated roster, needing a win from Trubisky and Pete Carroll. It's looking great so far. But then the Saints take a comfortable lead. And things get weird. We almost destroy Teddy's good knee. Jameis gets concussed. Jason gets a penalty for having fun. But the most confounding thing is we had 5 interceptions. Did we just become catching motherfuckers? I'm still confused. I need y'all to tell me how to feel. In the meantime, I'll be lighting my Goodell candle, praying that we play the Bears on Sunday. Take care,
The
guys.
Bears.
All right. So, like everybody else with the Saints happy hour, I was completely pissed off at Alvin Kamara for deciding to go trolling in Kenner for Poontang after his 6 TD victory. Awesome. And, anyway, I mean, whatever. And, the Saints did everything they needed to do. They won today. Unfortunately, Green Bay won as well. So number 2 seed. But, I'm going to look on the bright side because the fact that the Saints do not have the bye, they have to play wild card weekend. That means we get an extra Drew Brees Saints football game. I'm still very optimistic that the Saints are going to go all the way, so all the way. So, yeah. Who dat, baby?
Thomas from Poland. Time for you to come work in Mother Russia. I have a place for you in Gulag. Make pots and pans for Imperial Red Army. Poland is like dog at dinner table. Sometimes we feed little bitch, sometimes we kick and fight. Football New Orleans sent Polish Panda Bears into hibernation 1945. Honor years are Stalin, crash Warsaw like breadcrumbs in iron fist. Fuck you, Andre George.
Who was that? Who the hell was that?
I don't know who that was, but I had to when I saw the transcript.
Was that Kevin with like a woman?
No, that was
voice?
a real woman.
That was a
real woman.
What was that?
We've had 2 women call us, and one of them was a fake Russian.
Wow.
Also, I think the other guy called him Jason Winston.
Yeah.
He pulled a Ralph.
What?
Wow.
Ralph, why do you do this?
What did she say at the end? Fuck you, Andre Juge?
Andrew Juge.
Can we play that one back again? Can you play that one again? Do you have the ability to do?
I can't clip it. I have to start it from the beginning. The one thing is, I was worried about it because
what just happened? Who was that?
I don't know who
got
it was.
like a new troll.
I'm gonna have trouble going to sleep tonight. Like I have to know what just happened.
When the Google voice, it gives me like a written transcript when I go to do it.
Oh, I'm sure that was.
And that one, the end of it, when I first saw it, I was like, oh no, I don't know if this was gonna get played because she did it in a Russian accent. The Google Translate thought she said an ethnic slur towards Andrew, and I was like, uh-oh, this one's not going to get through. But then I heard it, I was like, oh, it's just a Russian lady.
Wow, that was wild.
Yeah, I don't know. People ask.
It's the playoffs, boy.
This is okay. Well, that was okay. That was what I was gonna say. First of all, you want the Saints to bring their A game now to the playoffs. Y'all got to bring your freaking A game for the hotline.
Yeah,
right? I feel much better about this game after that.
Here's the thing, Dave. Give them out the hotline number. I'm gonna do something special right now.
All right, wait. And then 2 is we've got ladies calling in with doing bits now, so the bar has been raised. Y'all gotta. I want to Walton and Johnson this shit.
Right.
I want people to come up with characters, start calling in as characters.
How do you know that wasn't legit?
I don't know. That could have been Tomas's mother. I don't have no idea.
Girlfriend.
All right, so this the podcast hotline is 210-595-0818. That's
call in
210-595-0818. Call us whenever you want. Nobody's going to answer. You just leave a message. It can be anonymous and
the Russian woman is the bar now.
Yeah.
That's what you have
call
to be.
in 210-595-0818. Call in today or tomorrow. I'm going to do a special Saints Happy Hour playoff hotline. I want Bears slander. I want irrational confidence. I want it all, and we will play it special for the people to get you fired up for the playoffs. So call in. Yeah. I want Bear slander, and I want irrational confidence.
Don't call in. Yes, don't call in with your true feelings, like, "Oh, I'm worried. I don't know."
No,
blah, blah, blah. No.
That's how I feel.
That's not getting play. Yeah, we know. That's how I feel too. But that's not. You're not making it on the air if you call it that.
No. I want Ric Flair energy. That's what I want.
Russian Ric Flair.
Russian Ric Flair. Woo! I can't do woo in Russian.
I don't think you can put an accent on woo.
So, as Dave mentioned, we got to do before we get to game predictions, we got to do world famous Saints Mailbag. Here we go. All right, Andrew, let's start in Discord because we didn't get too many Twitter questions because I was late on the trigger.
Let's see. Nikolai, the famous brewmaster, wants to know if is it too soon to change Teddy's name from Teddy Two Gloves to Teddy Five Wins? Ooh, that's a sick burn. Sick burn.
Yeah. Teddy by the middle of next year, he's not going to be their quarterback.
Teddy sans Sean Payton, like his stock is way down. Deeper and deeper, way down. All right, Chris Moss wants to know, if I guaranteed you the Saints would make the Super Bowl but would lose, would you take the offer or would you take your chances in the playoffs?
I would take it.
Yeah, Super Bowls.
I would take it. Because like as far as Drew Brees is concerned, you still get the game. Drew still gets to play in the game.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's three playoff wins you're giving me.
You get 3 playoff wins plus the Super Bowl bye week plus Super Bowl week. That's 5 more weeks of fun. And here's the thing too, because Drew Brees has already won a Super Bowl, his legacy, they won't even really hold it against him that he lost the second one. They'll just be like, Drew Brees holds all the passing records, got to 2 Super Bowls. Like, that's how they'll view it. And
keep in mind also, like, that probably means he's beating 2 of Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. Like, he's probably taken out 2 of those.
Yeah.
In that scenario, which might be.
I mean, can you imagine the Saints going to the Super Bowl because they got to beat Tom Brady in the Superdome? Like, that would be magic. It probably wouldn't be as great as beating Minnesota because we wouldn't get to go. But my God, that'd be amazing. So what's next, Andrew? What you got?
Dave, this is from Amic 5505. How in the living shit does Ken Crawley make the interception of the year, and how big of an extension do you want to give him?
I'm not giving him any extension. I'll give him a 1-year contract. But how does he made a great play. I rewatched it.
That was his only snap.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Maximum efficiency.
Yeah, he's maximum. But no, I mean, he made a great play once the ball was thrown in the air, he actually kind of became the wide receiver. He started speeding up and just outran the wide receiver.
That was DJ Moore too.
I know. He's not like a scrub, man.
Half of that blame goes on DJ Moore because he just he must have given up on it, I guess.
Yeah.
That was a sick catch.
It was. I watched the highlight of of all 5 of the interceptions, that was the most impressive one. The Lattimore one, that was a badly thrown ball behind. I think it was DJ Moore on that one too.
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel. The Haley one was an underthrown ball. Receiver wasn't even near him. The Malcolm Jenkins one, that was underthrown too, I think. No, I mean, Crawley's was the only interception of all 5 of those that took, I thought, some actual skill and talent.
All right, I really like this one. I'll give this one to you, Ralph.
Here we go.
Which one is most shocking? Taysom not fumbling, Crawley getting an interception, or the Piano Man touchdown?
Ooh, that is a tough one. I gotta say, the Piano Man touchdown is the most shocking of them. Like, I had forgotten that he was still around. You know, and I know Kent Crawley was kind of like lurking, and I knew they had problems in the secondary room. Piano Man playing, because they had Sanders and Callaway was back, I was like, oh my God, Piano Man caught a goddamn touchdown. Like, I'm going Piano Man. The most surprising.
And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle
in the wind, never knowing.
Why is that the song? Shouldn't it be Piano Man by Billy Joel?
Throw me a pass. You're the Piano Man. Catch me a pass.
I don't know.
I
don't know why I went to Elton John. That was.
I mean, he plays piano. I get it. But.
Run the right route tonight. We're all in the mood for a first down.
You know,
don't run the route short of the sticks.
Dave's usually the random singer. Dave, it's Ralph and I tonight. Dave, everyone's talking about the Bucs of the pack, home field advantage, the NFC Championship game. Are we taking the Bears too lightly? That's from Herb.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a couple of us were probably gonna touch on this in the next bit when we discuss the game, but I am very nervous that well, I take that back. I could see the Saints taking this game lightly, but I think that in retrospect now, considering the playoff matchup and the scenario that we're looking at, I honestly think that losing to the Eagles may have been the best thing that could have happened to the Saints, because I think they learned I'm hopeful that they learned their lesson because of that. And and it was so recent, and it's still, in their memory and in their mind, and they can, Sean Payton can easily say, look, I fucked up. You fucked up. We all fucked up. We overlooked this team, and they beat us. They beat us fair and square. They put up 2 100-yard rushers on us. We were totally unprepared. You can absolutely not let that happen again. I don't give a shit what Vegas says. I don't give a shit what the line is. We are better than this team, and we have to play like it. We cannot play down to their level. So I think honestly it's going to be okay.
Man, you got to be kind of jacked up. That's what I like Sean Payton needs to take that soundbite and play Dave Cariello in the locker room. I like that.
All
right, Ralph, this is from Balky.
Yeah, I only had one good question. Dave, how much did Brees pay for his plugs?
I don't give too much thought about Drew's hair. As a baldy myself, it would if I find out that Drew Brees did get plugs, I'd be a little disappointed that he's just not meant. You just got to accept your fate, man. If you're a baldy, you're a baldy. Just
come
accept
on
it. Don't
home.
try to hide it.
Come on home.
Yeah, just come on home. It's the waters. Come on in, the waters.
Well,
fine.
he's got a future in politics or
TV.
Broadcasting. He needs a hairline. Yeah.
But I mean, I do see what people are saying. It did seem like a couple of years ago, like the hairline was receding, and it seems to have, if not stopped receding, potentially grown back a little bit more. So I could and I do not put it past Drew Brees to get any kind of.
The man wants to have hair. Let him have hair, maybe.
All right, I got some more, Ralph.
All right,
Ralphie wants to know, assuming this is Brees' last season, and because we can't give him the send-off he deserves in person because of the Rona, what should the Saints and fans do to honor him next season?
Ooh, that's hard. I mean, assuming that we're gonna have fans next season because of the vaccine, and the Rona will be on the decline. I mean, you got to put him in the Ring of Honor. You just 5-year waiting period. Drew Brees gets exemption from that. Maybe you do like a parade before the season opener where he gets in the car and does a couple laps in the stadium. Does he deserve a? I don't think you give him a statue.
That whole car parade lap thing on the stage, that's like the most anticlimactic, lame thing. It's like, I don't know.
He could do like Drew Brees throws. He could throw like beads and cups.
I mean,
Terrible.
This is the city of Mardi Gras. Like, you got it's if you're gonna be doing laps around anything and parading in front of people, it's go big or go home. I always hated that car thing.
All right, I got a couple more. I'll give this one to you, Dave, since you're such a Rolodex memory guy. What's your favorite playoff victory in Saints history? Super Bowl and NFC Championship games are not allowed.
Oh, well, I was gonna say the NFC Championship game. My fave. I know one of y'all is gonna say beating Carolina for the third time in one season.
Ooh, that was a good one.
I know one of you guys likes that.
You know what? Well, I'll answer this real quick. You know what's a sneaky favorite of mine is the road win in Philly. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's a sneaky favorite.
Yeah, that might be one of mine. That might be my favorite. The one in Philly.
The sneaky favorite of mine is the Detroit game in 2011 because the Saints, their offense wasn't stopped.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was unstoppable, and they couldn't punt. And Megatron for Detroit had 200 yards receiving and was basically unguardable, and you didn't even care. You were like, this is amazing. This is hysterical. The Saints cannot guard him. They just put 4 dudes on him, and he caught a touchdown. Like, you weren't even – like, you got to see this great performance, and it didn't even matter against the Saints. Like, he caught 200-something yards in a playoff game, and it's forgotten because the Saints just bulldozed Detroit. That was one of my
favorite part about that game
games.
was that Jabari Greer had like 17 dropped interceptions that year and no actual interceptions, and then had 2 interceptions in the playoff game. That was hilarious. And this is the last one for you, Ralph. This is from Bayou Bedouin. What family member are you willing to sacrifice on Marie Laveau's grave for the Saints to win a Super Bowl?
Well, not his wife, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to get dressed in the morning.
Otherwise,
he can't pick his wife.
I'll be walking around looking like a human banana the rest of my life. Can't have that. So can't sacrifice my wife. Can't sacrifice my kid. Do they have to be alive? Can I like dig up their bones and sacrifice? I mean, I don't have a lot of family. I can't sacrifice family members for a Super Bowl, and I can't sacrifice pets because then my wife would leave me because she loves all the cats. I can't do it. I can't sacrifice a family member.
Can I sacrifice my? Well, no, I'm not going to say that.
My mother.
How could you say that about our biggest fan?
I wasn't going to say that.
She doesn't listen.
Yeah. Sacrificing Ralph's cat, that kind of needs to happen.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like a family member.
All right. So, is that it, Andrew, for the questions?
That's it.
All right.
I'm done.
So we got to get to the Bears game.
The Bears. Saints
are currently a 9-point favorite against the Chicago Bears. The game kicks off Sunday at 3:40. Andrew, you can go first. Who you got, and who will be your Saints?
They won't even bring him to camp. He looks like a star of the day for the Saints.
Give us a prediction.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd maybe just skip this whole part. I'm nervous. I almost wonder if I'm definitely picking the Bears in the over/under. I can tell you that.
We know bet on them, I'm sure.
Is it better luck if I pick the Bears to win on this podcast? What's better luck?
I don't know. Did you bet on the Bears?
I haven't yet. But
Did you bet against them?
I plan to. I'm waiting for the spread to go even higher once they announce Kamara's playing. I got to go with my gut here. And I'm terrified, but I just feel like the Saints are so far superior to this team. I don't think the Bears are going to be able to score that much. Saints defense is really good. Trubisky really sucks. I think it's going to be really hard for the Bears to break the 20-point barrier. This is just me talking intellectually. This is what I believe based on tape. If you ask me how I feel deep in my soul, I'm petrified. But I'd be surprised, honestly, to see the Bears score more than 17 points. And I think Michael Thomas coming back. I don't know what's going to happen with Kamara, but I do think the Saints are pretty much going to be at full strength offensively, maybe minus Kamara. Maybe he'll come back. But it's really probably the healthiest they've been. They'll get Deontay back. They'll get Michael Thomas back. The offensive line is surprisingly looking good. Jared Cook has kind of made a reappearance recently. Hopefully they get Latavius Murray back. So, I just feel like they've faced so much adversity. So many guys have had to step up. And the offense has been better for it. And now it's kind of just like everyone's coming back at the same time. So I think it's going to be like 38-17. I think it's going to be a beatdown. I think they're going to look great. I think they're going to exercise some demons. And yet I'm still terrified. But I just keep going back to who is clearly far and away the better team this Sunday, and it's the Saints.
Here's a question before you give a prediction, Dave. Andrew, do you think if the Saints don't have Kamara, are they better off with, even if Kamara doesn't play, are they still better off offensively than they were the first game because they'll have Thomas, Sanders, and Callaway? They didn't have any of those the first game. Would you rather have those three or Kamara? Which makes the offense better, you think?
Yeah, well, having Latavius Murray is important if you don't have Kamara, obviously. But remember, they didn't have Kamara last year when they beat the brakes off the Bears in Chicago. They didn't have Brees or Kamara in that game, and they crushed the Bears. So I don't think Kamara is that important in this game. I think it's more just about, look, if the Saints play terrible, like we saw how it's exactly what Dave said. Like, they lost to the Eagles. So on a bad day, yeah, any playoff team can beat the Saints. Any non-playoff teams can beat the Saints. But if the Saints are playing like B+ or higher, they're playing with their B level, the Bears can't beat them. There's just no way. So I think it just comes down to the Saints playing their game. And, special teams has been sneaky terrible lately. Morstead and Lutz. And so that makes me nervous.
Deontay Harris is really good that first game too.
Yeah. So, hopefully he comes back and gives us a shot in the arm. But I just think the Saints are way better. So I think we're going to get a B. Or I think we're going to get like a B+ A- performance from the Saints, and I think they should win handily.
Dave, who you got?
I don't think Kamara matters. Was my point. I don't think he matters.
Dave, who you got, and who is your?
They won't even bring him
right.
He looks like a star of the day for the Saints.
My star of the day, I'm going to go with Demario Davis.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
I think he's going to have a monster game. He's going to bring it.
Dave, who you got?
Well, first of all, I wanted to mention, I know a lot of people know this already, but this particular playoff game was picked to be simulcast by Nickelodeon. So you're going to be able to watch the Saints-Bears playoff game on Nickelodeon if you so choose. I don't know if I'm going to watch it live on Nickelodeon, but I'm going to have my kids watch it, and I'm going to record it. What, Ralph? Are you not aware of this, Ralph?
No, I'm not. Are they going to have?
Really?
Wow.
I'm not.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
The Saints are on CBS, and they're also at the same time being televised on Nickelodeon. And it's meant to be, I think Nate Burleson is calling the game and someone else, but it's meant to be a broadcast for a younger audience. Yeah.
They're gonna have like the cast of All That, like commenting and stuff. They're gonna have.
I might have to check.
I guess they're doing this digitally. They're gonna have. You're gonna want your son to watch this broadcast. Digitally, I think they're gonna have like SpongeBob SquarePants, like in the middle of the uprights. And I think they're just going to do like silly graphics and stuff like on replays, like Mitch Trubisky's going to get like slimed after he gets sacked or something like that.
I am seriously considering watching that.
I'm going to check it out.
Is that a bad idea?
It's not. I'm totally watching. I'm totally watching it until the Bears get ahead, and then I'll switch back to regular.
Yeah, right. Or if the Saints pull out an early lead, I'm going to switch to Nickelodeon and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you have kids, you might want to check them out. If you have kids that aren't necessarily totally into the Saints, like my kids, you might want to give that a shot, and maybe they'll turn around.
Does CBS own Nickelodeon? Why are they allowing this?
I don't know.
I mean, there comes a point, Andrew, where when you pay so much money for something, you can do whatever you want with it. And that's where the networks are with the NFL. Like, they pay them so much money, the NFL is just like, oh, okay, sure. You wanna do SpongeBob SquarePants for color commentary? Go right ahead. And they just count the money.
That's pretty much what this game is going to be. You're joking, but that's pretty much.
I'm just surprised that CBS would allow this, but I'm gonna check it out. I think.
So.
Yeah. No. But anyway, back to the game. We've already discussed this a little bit earlier in the podcast. Normally, I would be nervous about this game. Normally, this game seems to have all the trappings of a huge one-and-done exit for the Saints in the playoffs. But like I said earlier, I think that losing to the Eagles a month ago is going to turn out to be the best thing that ever happened to them, because I truly believe that because they've already overlooked one opponent and been surprised by a team that is in all phases not as talented as the Saints. I think that they're not going to let that happen again this week. So I'm with Andrew. I think it's going to be a pretty handy win.
Andres Peat?
I know. Davenport. Wait, was it Andres Peat? Oh, yeah.
It's Andres Peat, yeah.
And
by the way, it's Andres Peat, right?
Andres.
We just pulled a Ralph.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it's got to be more than 26 points, since Drew Brees puts up at least 26 points. I'm gonna say 35 to. And again, I'm happy with the way the defense has been playing so far. I'm gonna say 35 to 10. I'm only gonna give them 10 points. And I've been riding this horse for a while. I can't give up now. And now that Deontay Harris may come back for the playoffs, I'm gonna go with Deontay Harris.
He's running a kickback.
He's gonna run back.
I'm gonna tell you, this game, the Saints are going. I am as confident about the Saints winning this game and destroying the Bears as I was confident that the Saints were going to crush the Bucs on Sunday night. And I was like the only one of the four of us that was like, the Saints are going to crush Tampa Bay. You watch. The Saints are primed to kick the crap out of the Bears, humiliate them in a way that is going to make the Bears reevaluate their entire existence. And you guys forgot the one person that's going to be
They won't even bring him to camp. He looks like a star of the day for the Saints.
The man who is going to put the cherry on top or the last nail in the Bears' coffin, humiliate them, whatever you want to say, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, baby. He's got to finish off your boy, Wims or Mims or whoever he is. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, pick 6, Saints 42, Bears 7.
Wow.
It's going to be a delight from start to finish. I think the upset of the weekend is going to be the Rams going to Seattle and winning. So I think we're going to get Tampa Bay next week in the Dome. That's my little prediction / gambling tip for the kids.
Watch it on Nickelodeon.
thanks for joining us. I know we always have a lot of new listeners because of the playoffs, and it was delightful.
Oh, play the techno music.
Oh, yeah, we got wrong music.
How'd that time stamping go?
The time stamping, it went pretty good until about the 35-minute mark. Then I forgot about it.
Shocker.
I'll just make some stuff up and throw in some time codes. It'll be fine.
By the way, remember earlier in the podcast when Kevin was with us?
Yeah. If Kevin wouldn't have fallen off, I'd have probably kept up with the timestamps, but, it happens. So, anyway, call the hotline. Best voicemail slander of the Bears gets a Saints Happy Hour t-shirt. How about that? So, do it. So, for Andrew, for Dave, for Kevin, who had technical issues, thanks for everybody for joining us. Go Saints. We will see you the rest of the week with Bears playoffs and previews and all that stuff. Become a patron. Anyway, until next time, the bar is closed.